For his article in The Atlantic about Robert Kennedy and his sociopathic disregard for human life, reporter Michael Schur uh, spoke with um, a doctor at the Vaccine Education Center at the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, Dr. Offit, who said the following quote, I don't think there is any way to regain that trust, meaning the American public's trust in science, then have the viruses do the education and the bacteria do the education. And then people will realize they pay too high a cost, unquote. So, what does that mean? Well, that means because we have a bunch of murderers in charge of almost every single agency in this country, Americans are going to have to suffer horribly in order for them to realize in an inescapable way that they are indeed in the hands of madmen and women. Children are going to need to die unnecessarily because of the faith tens of millions of people placed in sociopaths and charlatans. We are living through this moment in history where the total lack of disregard for human life is the status quo of the government of the United States of America. This disregard is not confined to the Department of Health and Human Services, which tragically Robert Kennedy runs despite his complete and utter lack of experience, qualifications, or education. We also see this playing out in the Department of Defense, which we'll get to in a second. But as you may know, Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense, ordered the military after an initial bombing of another boat in the Caribbean Sea, left 2 survivors to kill everybody. Now, the first strike, which resulted in a few deaths, I don't know how many. So far, 80 people have been killed in these illegal, extra-legal boat strikes in contravention of the rules of war and international law. That first boat strike was in itself an act of murder, as were every single other one. But going out of his way to order the murder of the 2 survivors of the most recent bombing, that is a line that apparently some Republicans have a problem with, finally, at long last. Then, of course, we have the great irony, I suppose, that those boat strikes are, at least according to our commander-in-chief, Donald Trump, the man ordering all of this, the result of his wanting to stop narco-terrorists from continuing to kill people in America with drugs. Really? Well, first of all, even if that were true, which it is not, that's not how you go about it. I mean, I don't know enough. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know enough about international law. I don't know enough about drug smuggling or drug trafficking. The penalty for such crimes may indeed be the death penalty. But last I checked, blowing somebody up because you suspect they're a narco-terrorism without due process and contravention, once again, of international law is not a sentence. It's murder. But here's the thing. Donald has given all of this the lie because he has announced he's going to pardon former Honduran President Juan Orlando Hernandez, who was convicted last year and is currently serving a 40-year sentence for setting up a corrupt money-making system in which hundreds of thousands of kilos of cocaine were sent to the United States of America. That to me does not sound consistent because it isn't consistent. I don't know exactly what Donald's motives with these boat strikes are, but I have a feeling it has something to do with his wanting to disrupt the Venezuelan government to allow his buddies in big oil to move in and make a lot of money. Just as I'm pretty sure that his pardoning of this vile drug trafficker, the former president of Honduras, is happening simply because somebody paid him a lot of money. Meanwhile, while murderers are running our country, murderers and fascists are running our country, those who were standing up to them are receiving death threats. The person I mentioned earlier, Dr. Offit, has received several death threats, and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer announced recently that there have been MAGA bomb threats all over the country. Rochester, New York, Long Island, New York City, Binghamton, New York. Well, that's all in New York, actually, in other states as well. So while the murderers are getting away with it, those people trying to stand up to them might be paying the price that I worry sometimes the murderers in charge never will. Let's dive in. Hello, everybody. Welcome to tonight's episode of Mary Trump Live. It is great to have you here. Sorry we were late. My bad. It happens. Yeah, it happens. Like, we all had a couple of days off, which I think short-circuited our nervous systems or something. We're not used to that. Anyway, since last week, I wanted to talk about this a little bit more. Donald and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth have faced increased scrutiny over strikes on boats in the Caribbean. Illegal strikes on unidentified boats in the Caribbean without presenting any evidence that they should be doing this. I mean, I guess it's about time, but, a lot of these strikes have occurred already. According to reports, on September 2nd, 2 defenseless survivors of initial strike were killed as a result of an order from Hegseth. This is the definition of a war crime. 2 bipartisan investigations have been opened to get to the bottom of what happened in that raid. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt was forced to address the controversy in today's press conference. I'm sure whatever she had to say. Well, let's just watch.
To clarify, I just wanted you to clear this up. In his social media post, Secretary Hegseth didn't go into details about that strike. He just said U.S. operations in the area were lawful, and he said that the story and media reports were fabricated. So to be clear, does the administration deny that that second strike happened, or did it happen and the administration denies that Secretary Hegseth gave the order?
The latter is true, Abe, and I have a statement to read for you here. President Trump and Secretary Hegseth have made it clear that presidentially designated narco-terrorist groups are subject to lethal targeting in accordance with the laws of war. With respect to the strikes in question on September 2nd, Secretary Hegseth authorized Admiral Bradley to conduct these kinetic strikes. Admiral Bradley worked well within his authority and the law, directing the engagement to ensure the boat was destroyed and the threat to the United States of America was eliminated.
No. See, these tiny men, Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth, do not get to rewrite international law without input from anybody else. They do not have the right to cover their asses in this way, which is what's happening. I mean, good for them, I guess, for getting their story straight, but we'll get to what that suggests in a second. Now, the regime, which may have violated Geneva Conventions, resorted to the usual playbook, right? Attack the media, because that's not gotten old yet. Take a look.
But overwhelmingly, the fake news that we see pumped out of this building on a day-to-day basis, it's honestly overwhelming to keep up with it all and to constantly have to defend against these fake news and these attacks.
Oh my God, she and I actually agree on something. Well done, Ava Braun. Well done. I, too, am tired of the amount of fake news that disgraceful creature pumps out of the White House press room every single fucking day. Thanks to a salary that we pay. Here's the thing, though. Whether or not Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump have their story straight, the bottom line is the Commander-in-Chief of the United States military and the Secretary of Defense are both saying, generally speaking, we didn't know. Well, guess what? That's not how it works. If they didn't know, well, that means that they're not doing their jobs and they're incompetent and out of touch. And you know what else it means? It means that they are setting somebody else up. They are essentially suggesting that somebody who is bound to follow their orders acted outside of the chain of command. Is somebody willing to take the fall for those two miscreants? I certainly hope not. Or, of course, they're just, well, probably and/or they're trying to justify the fact that they're murderers who are continuing to commit war crimes. I mean, we shouldn't be surprised at any of this. As I said, Pete Hegseth is an incompetent, unqualified, tiny man. And Donald has a track record. I mean, he killed over 400,000 of us with COVID. So none of this should come as news. So I want to turn our attention to this week's election in Tennessee, which, cool, is bad for Donald. In a special election in the state's 7th congressional district, a Democrat, Afton Ben, is performing surprisingly well in the polls. Combine that with the fact that turnout is lower during special elections, Donald has some serious reasons to worry about losing a red seat. So he, of course, is going all out in support of the Republican candidate, Matt Von Epps. And by all out, I mean he was willing to make a phone call because, come on, he's old. We can't expect too much effort from the 79-year-old sedentary fast food junkie. Let's take a look. I mean, I think I not a trigger warning exactly, but I think I need to prepare you guys for this because it's electrifying. And you will be electrified. And I want you, especially if you have like a pacemaker or something, I want you to be like very prepared to be electrified by Donald's remarks at a rally held by House Speaker Mike Johnson.
We have to win this seat. We've gotten you the largest tax cuts in history, and the new bill, the great big beautiful bill, kicks in, as you know, on January 1st. Hasn't even kicked in yet. And then you have no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime. If you borrow money to buy a car, you get a deduction that's never happened before. All these things kick in on January 1st. A lot of people don't know. They said, oh, they already kicked in. I said, no, it doesn't start until January 1st. So that was the first date. I just want to thank everybody. I love Tennessee, one of my all-time favorite places. And Tennessee, I guess, loves me because we've won by the biggest margins anybody's ever won by, so that's cool. But if you can go, Matt Van Epps, he's a winner. He's going to be great. Don't let this stuff fool you. The Democrats are spending a fortune And we don't want people that want to raise your taxes. She wants to raise your taxes on top of everything else. But she said two things above all else that bothered me. Number one, she hates Christianity. Number two, she hates country music. How the hell can you elect a person like that? So I just want to give my total support, and he's had it right from the beginning, to Matt Van Epps. He's going to be a fantastic congressman. He's going to represent you so well, and we'll keep our agenda going.
Oh, sorry. That was rousing. I'm going to become a fascist now. That was just so motivating. Yeah, Donald loves Tennessee. Yes. First of all, it took him about a minute even to mention the candidate's name, because it was all about what his lies about what he's done. And then to say that, I mean, even for him, this is a bit much. To say that the Democratic challenger, Afton Bent, hates Christianity? Really? I mean, I'm an atheist, and even I wouldn't go if I were running for something. I think I know enough about this country to know that saying you hate Christianity would be a non-starter. So, I mean, maybe not in New York, but in Tennessee, even I know that saying you hate country music would probably be a bad idea. So, just more lies and more self-aggrandizement and more completely detached from reality nonsense from a guy who seems incapable of focusing on anything other than himself. So, I think we're kind of reaching a tipping point, and we'll talk about this more, that Donald and the Republicans can pretend all they want that Donald's going to run again, or that he's he is still the driving force of the Republican Party, but he's proving himself increasingly to be a lame duck. I mean, he already is a lame duck, but man, is this duck lame. So congratulations, Matt Van Epps, for getting that endorsement. Actually, I think Afton Bent is the one who should be sending Donald a thank you note. Okay, so this one might give you some deja vu. The New York Times reports that today, a federal appeals court ruled that Alina Habba has been serving unlawfully as a U.S. attorney in New Jersey. The court found the Trump regime used improper legal maneuvers to keep Habba in charge, even after judges declined to extend her interim appointment. These judges chose a veteran prosecutor to lead the office instead. Why does that sound familiar? Oh, yeah. Because of Lindsay Halligan in Virginia, who Donald once again failed to install as a loyal, to install as head prosecutor simply because she was his loyalist. Like, she was his personal attorney. She is corrupt to the core and so woefully unqualified. So that's it. Like, that's the Trump regime. Are you 100% loyal to Donald? Are you willing to do anything to protect him, to keep him in power? Are you so fucking stupid that you are incapable of recognizing your weaknesses and limitations? That's it. That's all. Oh, and also, are you willing to kill a lot of people for no reason just so you can stay in power while destroying our institutions and our democracy? Yeah, how did I forget that one? All right, it is Monday after a holiday weekend. That was rough. We deserve our emotional support moment. First, we breathe. Okay. And whenever we have that moment of breathing, I realize I haven't been breathing. I think I need to work on that. Anyway, we are going to unwind a little bit with these beautiful images of Niagara Falls, which is way, way north in my state. I don't think I've ever been there. I think I need to go. Let this serve as a reminder that, at least in parts of the natural world, things are absolutely as they should be. And with the autumn leaves, New York State is truly one of the most beautiful states in this country, I have to say. So that was cool. Okay, let us get to your comments, questions, etc. Jane, comment, it's official. Alina Habba, now fired. Disqualified. Yes, disqualified for being unqualified. And also, like, for the whole thing was illegal. Some of the guardrails are holding, so let's just be grateful for that. Mida Cheryl gifted 1 Mary Trump Media membership. Thank you so much, as always. And of course, the much anticipated Mida Cheryl twofer. Question: how was your Thanksgiving? Plus some kind of fee. I apologize. I don't know what that emoji is. Somebody will tell me, I'm sure. I'm sure of it. My Thanksgiving was great. Actually, it's out in Ohio. Monday night, I gave a talk to the Madison County Dems, and actually 2 other. Madison County in Ohio is very, very red, rural, lots of farms. So right in my wheelhouse. No, it's a very cool place, and there's actually a Democratic organization in this very red place. So, went out there to give a talk, and it was great. Like, the people who came out were incredible, and as I mentioned, a couple of other neighboring counties joined. So we had an early Thanksgiving out there with family, and it was really cool. And then we're back in New York for actual Thanksgiving, and we're just chilled. It was awesome and very quiet, which, is nice. So thank you for asking. Julie, thank you very much for that comment. Hi, Mary. Happy December 1st. I cannot believe it's December. It's kind of freaking me out a little bit. I have to be honest with you. Just need to know what you want for Christmas other than world peace and Donald gone. Done. Well, one more thing, actually. This is selfish. Well, it's not totally selfish, actually. But, because we're on a mission here. I want YouTube to stop screwing around with the algorithm and stop suppressing our content. That would be awesome. But Donald gone, world peace, and blue. I don't know if tsunami is a big enough word for what I want for next year's election. I want our democracy back, is what I want. Actually, I want a real democracy for America. Kendra is a super sticker. Thank you, Kendra, so much, as always. Brigid, thank you very much. Comment, singing Merle Haggard's If We Can Make It Through December fee. Yeah, that is true. I'm having a very hard time seeing what the emojis are. They're tiny. Tiny. I don't know what's up with that. Megan, thank you so very much, Megan. That's awesome. Comment, trying so hard not to lose hope, but right now the frustration is palpable, and I need to say, fuck. You don't have to say, well, you know what? I mean, of course I'm going to say it. Also, for future reference, put the instructions before. You know, but of course I'm going to say it. I'll put money in the swear jar for that one. How's that? Brigid, thank you again. Gifted 1 Mary Trump Media membership. Phenomenal. Bizarre Love Muffin 96. Cool. Thank you so much. And this is the fuck grandma swear jar fee. Yeah. Yes. Yes, indeed. I have to be honest with you. That was one of my favorite segments from Trump Trolls Trump. So if you guys haven't checked it out from last Saturday, was that just this past Saturday or was that 2 Saturdays ago? I don't remember, but please check it out because, you know, best way to save money during the holidays is not to celebrate them, and don't eat. Starve. Richard, thank you so much. Richard, comment, reminder to watch Andor if y'all haven't. Oh, yeah. You know what? I keep forgetting. And my friend and co-host, Bob Seska from Trek Politics, keeps telling me that I have to, and I keep forgetting. I should have done that this weekend. And now I'm never going to have another day off ever again. So I think I blew it. That's okay. We always find time for the important things. Dorothy gifted 1 Mary Trump Media membership. Thank you as always for that. Susan, thank you very much for gifting 5 Mary Trump Media memberships. Awesome. Brandy, thank you very, very much. Comment, Mary, they threw the Admiral under the bus. Yeah, they did. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see like how many of these high-ranking members of the military are willing to put up with this. Right now, they are being given and they are following illegal orders, and that is not going to end well for them. Just ask the Nazis at Nuremberg how saying just following orders shook out. Brother Jerry, thank you very much, Brother Jerry. Comment, love from Texas. Hang tough. I can't imagine living down there, I have to be honest. Barb, thank you very much for being a super sticker and for that. And by what I mean, I know there are parts of Texas that are beautiful and they're like, I know Austin's a really cool city. I just meant politically. That's all. I mean, the government down there, Abbott, Ken Paxton, it's bad stuff. Frown House, thank you very, very much. Question. Isn't Donald just living in a giant taxpayer-funded assisted living facility, really? Yes. Yeah, but that's his whole life. I've in my first book, Too Much and Never Enough, I basically made the case that Donald has been institutionalized his whole fucking life. He's never had to fend for himself. He's never had to support himself. He's never had a real job. He's never suffered any consequences. He's never been to the grocery. Like, he's never done his own laundry. Like, I'm not kidding. This guy doesn't know how to live in the real world. He would be incapable of doing what you guys do on a daily basis. Frownhuffs, thank you again. Gifted 1 Marriage on Media membership. That's awesome. Zella Joey, thank you as always for that. This is the new economy-sized fucking swear jar. Yeah. Yeah. In the middle of nowhere, thank you very much. That's fantastic. Comment, turkey stock simmering on the stove fee. Oh, we're still doing that? Okay, cool. I didn't know. I'm a vegetarian, so I'm kind of like out of touch with what people do with meat. Jacqueline, thank you very, very much. Comment, thankful for Mary and her team. Well, we are thankful you were here. Truly. Jenny is a super sticker. Thank you so much, Jenny. Donna, thank you so much for that. Comment, the emoji is a turkey on the first. Oh, okay, thank you. See, vegetarian. No, that's not an excuse for not being able to recognize a turkey. I'm not kidding. I don't know why, but the emojis on your comments are tiny on my screen. I have to do something about that. Susan, thank you again. As always, this is a fee to kick the algorithm beast's ass. Here's hoping it works. Thank you, Susan. Dawn is a new member. Fabulous. It is great to have you here. And finally, Joanne, thank you so very much. That's incredibly generous of you. And the comment is, because it's December. I know. Again, freaking me out. It's December. All right. That does it for us tonight. It is wonderful to have spent this Monday night with you after what seemed like a very long time away. To everybody watching on YouTube, everybody streaming on Twitter and over at The Good in Us, our Substack, people listening to the podcast, thank you. To all of our new members, people gifting new memberships, our super stickers, people giving us donations. We literally couldn't do this without you, especially because YouTube is kicking our asses. To our incredible moderators for helping us keep this thing going. And of course, to my amazing team, without whom I couldn't do any of this. All right, guys, welcome back. I will be here tomorrow night. My schedule is weird. I'm traveling, but there will be Marriage Up Live every night, 6 p.m. Eastern. So don't forget, we have videos dropping every single day. The best way to support us, the easiest way, I should say, is subscribe to our channel. And the second easiest way, watch our pre-recorded videos, like them, share them, comment on them. Seriously, we think you'll like them. We work really hard here to make sure you have the best content we can provide. And that does it for us. I will see you tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Eastern. In the meantime, everybody, please, please stay safe and be kind. Bye.